Wolverine's Harley-Davidson Fat Boy wasn't just transportation for Marvel's most popular mutant. It became an extension of the character's rebel persona, with Hugh Jackman learning to ride specifically for the role, despite having zero motorcycle experience. The bike appeared in multiple X-Men films, survived countless stunts, and became so iconic that Harley-Davidson created special edition models inspired by the movies. But why did production build 6 identical bikes when insurance prohibited Jackman from riding during action scenes? How did an Australian actor who'd never touched a motorcycle convince everyone he was a lifelong biker? These are 20 weird facts about Wolverine's Harley-Davidson that will blow your mind.
I trained like I've never trained in my life before, and
Number 20. The Hugh Jackman Learning Curve. Hugh Jackman had never ridden a motorcycle before being cast as Wolverine, a detail he kept hidden during auditions because the role required extensive riding scenes. When Bryan Singer offered him the part, Jackman immediately enrolled in motorcycle safety courses in Los Angeles. He had exactly 6 weeks before filming began to transform from complete novice to convincing rider. The pressure was enormous. Wolverine's character depended on projecting dangerous confidence, and nothing destroys that illusion faster than tentative, nervous riding. Jackman practiced 4 hours daily, starting in empty parking lots and progressing to city streets. His instructor was veteran rider Mike Cicchini, who taught actors for decades. Cicchini later said Jackman was the most dedicated student he'd encountered, showing up early and staying late every session. The Harley-Davidson Fat Boy they'd chosen for the film weighed 715 pounds fully fueled. For a beginner, handling that much mass was intimidating. Jackman dropped the bike 11 times during training, once badly bruising his leg when it fell on him. He kept the injury hidden from producers, worried they'd replace him with an experienced rider or relegate him to being doubled for all riding shots. By the time filming started, Jackman could execute basic maneuvers convincingly. He'd mastered starting, stopping, turning, and maintaining smooth throttle control. What he couldn't do safely was high-speed riding or stunts, but his foundational skills were solid enough that wide shots could show him actually riding.
Our second director, Peter McDonald, we worked out with our previous...
Number 19. The 6-bike strategy production. Built or acquired 6 identical Harley-Davidson Fat Boys for the X-Men trilogy, each customized for specific purposes. This redundancy seemed excessive until you understood the grueling filming schedule and insurance requirements. Bike number 1 was the pristine hero machine for close-ups and dialogue scenes. It featured perfect paint, flawless chrome, and detailed customization. The engine was tuned for smooth, idle, and reliable starting because nothing kills a take faster than a bike that won't start on cue. This bike was never ridden hard, never jumped, and certainly never crashed. Bike number 2 was Jackman's riding bike, mechanically stock, except for comfort modifications. The seat was custom fitted to his body, the handlebars adjusted to his arm reach. This bike logged the most miles, used for all scenes where Jackman actually rode. Bike number 3 belonged to stunt coordinator Jeff Haberstad and his team. It had reinforced frame points, upgraded suspension, and performance modifications. This bike handled the dangerous work high-speed chases, tight maneuvers, anything requiring expert riding. Bike number 4 was the crash bike, built specifically to be destroyed. Expendable bodywork, basic mechanicals, no expensive components. When scripts called for Wolverine's bike to crash, this one took the hit. Bike number 5 served as the backup, a complete spare kept ready in case primary bikes broke down. Bike number 6 was the effects platform, used for mounting cameras and rigging special effects. Its engine often didn't even run. Technicians just pushed it into position for technical shots.
They make a point of highlighting how the adamantium has made Logan much heavier on the suspension of the...
Number 18. The custom paint controversy. The Fat Boys paint scheme created unexpected tension between Harley-Davidson and 20th Century Fox. Harley wanted their iconic silver and black color scheme showcased prominently. Fox's production designer wanted a more aggressive custom finish that reflected Wolverine's personality. The compromise satisfied neither party completely. Harley-Davidson Fat Boys came from the factory in various color options, but the classic look featured silver with black accents. This combination photographed well and clearly identified the bike as a Harley product. Fox initially agreed to use stock colors to maintain Harley's product placement approval. Then director Bryan Singer saw the bike on set and hated it. He thought the silver looked too clean, too suburban, completely wrong for Wolverine's character. Singer wanted flat black with minimal chrome, creating a sinister, stripped-down appearance. Harley-Davidson representatives objected strongly. Their market research showed customers responded to chrome and polish. A murdered-out black bike contradicted their brand image. The argument escalated to executive producers before reaching a compromise. The hero bike retained stock silver paint, with added weathering, realistic scratches, chips, and road grime that suggested hard use without obscuring Harley's signature finish. The stunt bikes received the flat black treatment Singer wanted, used for action sequences where colors were less distinct anyway. The paint inconsistency spawned fan theories about multiple bikes or alternate timelines before. Behind-the-scenes footage revealed the simple truth of conflicting artistic visions. Number 17. The sound design deception. The Fat Boy's exhaust note heard in X-Men films isn't actually coming from a Fat Boy engine. Sound designers replaced it with recordings from multiple different motorcycles to create a more aggressive soundtrack. Stock Harley-Davidson Fat Boys produce a distinctive low-frequency rumble thanks to their 45-degree V-twin engine configuration. It's a pleasant, burbling sound that Harley enthusiasts love, but it's not particularly aggressive or menacing on film soundtracks. Supervising sound editor Ken Fisher tested the actual bike recordings and found them lacking dramatic impact. The rumble that sounded perfect in person became muddy and indistinct when mixed with dialogue, music, and sound effects. Fisher built a custom motorcycle sound library specifically for Wolverine's bike. He recorded a Harley-Davidson Faid rod for its sharper, more aggressive tone. He added a Ducati for mechanical gear whine. He layered in a Triumph for crispy intake sounds. The combination created something that sounded more Harley than actual Harleys. The sound team synchronized these recordings to match throttle position and engine speed frame by frame. During close-ups, they emphasized the V-rod's bark. In wide shots, they brought in the Ducati's mechanical snarl. The result was a bike that sounded powerful and dangerous, perfectly matching Wolverine's character. Harley-Davidson never publicly acknowledged the sound replacement. Their marketing materials claimed audiences heard authentic Harley exhaust. But Harley enthusiasts noticed immediately that something sounded wrong. Forum discussions debated whether the bike had custom exhaust or if the sound was entirely fabricated. The truth emerged years later when sound editors discussed their work in industry publications. Number 16, the explosion that wouldn't happen. X-Men Origins. Wolverine featured a sequence where Wolverine's bike was supposed to explode dramatically after crashing. The production rigged it with pyrotechnics, positioned cameras, and executed the stunt perfectly. Except the explosion didn't happen. Special effects coordinator Michael Lantieri had rigged the crash bike with shaped charges designed to fragment the fuel tank and ignite the gasoline in a controlled fireball. Safety crews prepared the area. Stunt coordinators positioned the bike, and cameras rolled at high speed to capture every detail. Stunt rider Mike Cochran executed a perfect crash, laying the bike down exactly as rehearsed. He slid clear of the bike, and it tumbled into position. Everyone waited for the explosion. Nothing. The charges had failed to detonate. Lantieri investigated and discovered a faulty electrical connection broken during the crash impact. The jolt had severed the detonation circuit before the charges could fire. This created a problem. They'd destroyed a bike in a one-time stunt and gotten no explosion. Resetting required another complete bike, more preparation time, and budget they didn't have. Director Gavin Hood made a decision. They'd use the crash footage and add the explosion digitally in post-production. Visual effects supervisor Patrick McClung protested that digital fire never looked as good as practical effects. Hood insisted they had no choice. The final film shows Cochran's perfect crash, followed by a completely digital explosion, composited in post.
Stunt rider that was shot after the explosion and composited it in because...
Number 15. The vibration fatigue problem. Harley-Davidson's famous engine vibration created serious problems during extended filming sessions. The Fat Boy's air-cooled V-twin engine vibrates significantly at idle, a characteristic Harley riders consider part of the bike's charm. For actors sitting motionless during long takes, that vibration became torture. Hugh Jackman discovered this during the first week of filming. A simple dialogue scene required him to sit on the idling bike for 45 minutes, while cameras and lighting were adjusted. The constant vibration numbed his hands, made his teeth chatter, and left him feeling seasick. After that experience, production implemented new protocols. The bike would only idle when cameras were actually rolling. Between takes, crew members would shut it off immediately. For longer setup periods, Jackman would dismount entirely, but some scenes required the bike to idle with Wolverine aboard for extended periods. The solution involved rubber isolation mounts installed between the engine and frame. These dampeners reduced vibration transmission to the rider without changing the bike's appearance. Harley-Davidson purists would consider this modification heresy. Removing the vibration removes part of the Harley experience. But practical film production demanded it. The mounts reduced vibration by approximately 60%, enough to make extended sitting tolerable. Even with modifications, Jackman developed chronic hand numbness during filming. Physical therapists treated him regularly for vibration-induced nerve compression. He later joked that method acting shouldn't include voluntary nerve damage.
In mocked-up Harley, you have explosions.
Number 14. The stunt double, who couldn't grow sideburns. Wolverine's distinctive mutton chop sideburns created an unexpected continuity problem for stunt riding sequences. Hugh Jackman's facial hair was essential to the character, but his primary stunt double, Mike Cochran, couldn't grow sideburns to save his life. Genetically, Cochran's beard grew in patches and his sideburns remained stubbornly thin. For wide shots where facial features weren't distinct, this didn't matter. But the production wanted closer action shots showing recognizably Wolverine-like riders to maintain audience immersion. Makeup supervisor Jill Rockow proposed gluing fake sideburns to Cochran's face before riding sequences. She'd done similar work for other films with bearded characters. The problem was sweat and helmet wearing. Stunt riding generated tremendous physical exertion. Cochran would sweat profusely inside the helmet. The moisture dissolved spirit gum adhesive, causing the fake sideburns to slip and peel. The makeup team tried stronger adhesives designed for extreme conditions. These worked better, but caused severe skin irritation. After one particularly grueling day of filming, Cochran's face developed angry red welts where the adhesive had been. Production shut down riding sequences for 3 days while his skin healed. The final solution involved custom-fitted helmets with integrated sideburns. Makeup artists glued the fake hair to the inside of the helmet at the correct position. When Cochran wore the helmet, the sideburns pressed against his face, creating the illusion they were growing from his skin. This worked perfectly for helmet-on shots, but required careful choreography. Any shot requiring the rider to remove the helmet meant switching back to Jackman or using camera angles that hid Cochran's natural lack of sideburns.
After 105 years in business, Harley keeps trying to up the ante, so...
Number 13. The Harley-Davidson sales surge. Men's release in 2000 created an immediate 23% increase in Harley-Davidson Fat Boy sales, completely unexpected by both the studio and Harley's marketing division. The Fat Boy had been in production since 1990, but sales had plateaued. Harley considered discontinuing the model to focus on newer designs. Then Wolverine made the Fat Boy cool again. Dealerships reported customers specifically requesting the Wolverine bike by name. Many had never considered buying a Harley before seeing the film. The character's appeal crossed demographic boundaries that typically limited Harley's customer base. Younger riders who found traditional Harley culture intimidating connected with Wolverine's rebellious outsider persona. Women riders, historically underrepresented in Harley's customer base, responded to the bike's association with strength and independence. International markets showed the strongest growth. In Japan, Fat Boy sales increased 47% year over year. Australia saw similar spikes. European markets showed more modest but still significant increases. Harley-Davidson's marketing team scrambled to capitalize on unexpected demand. They created Wolverine-themed promotional materials without official X-Men licensing, walking a careful legal line.
On the right side of the road, yet it was filmed in New Zealand, where they drive on the left. Well, looks like they took...
Number 12. The Canadian versus American licensing problem. Wolverine's canonical origin as Canadian created a bizarre legal problem regarding the motorcycle's license plate. Production wanted authenticity, but Canadian and American plates look completely different. Wolverine's character file indicated he was from Alberta, Canada. Logical choice? Alberta license plates. But the X-Men films shot primarily in California and New York with American crews, American locations, and American vehicles. Mounting a Canadian plate on a California-registered motorcycle violated vehicle codes. The production applied for special exemptions allowing foreign plates during filming. California DMV approved the request but imposed restrictions. The bike could only operate on closed sets or roads with proper permits. Any public road use required switching to California plates. This created continuity problems. Interior scenes at Xavier School used Canadian plates for authenticity. Street sequences shot on public roads required California plates. Script supervisors tracked which plate belonged in which scene based on shooting location. Predictably, mistakes happened. Several scenes show the wrong plate type for the purported setting. Fans noticed Canadian plates appearing during sequences supposedly filmed in New York. The Statue of Liberty sequence in the first film shows clear Alberta plates, even though the location is obviously American. Some defenders argued that Wolverine wouldn't bother changing plates when crossing borders, perfectly in character for someone who ignores rules. Others called it sloppy continuity. The production considered using a fictional generic plate to avoid the issue entirely. They designed a prop plate with no specific regional identification. Test footage showed it looked fake and cheap. Better to have authentic plates with occasional continuity errors than consistently fake-looking props.
They make a point of highlighting how the adamantium has made Logan much heavier on the suspension of the bike.
Number 11. The custom seat disaster. Hugh Jackman's custom-fitted seat created an unexpected problem when scheduling required different actors to ride the same bike. The seat was molded specifically to Jackman's body dimensions, providing maximum comfort during his riding scenes. But when stunt doubles or stand-ins needed to use the bike, the custom seat became torture. Mike Cochran, the primary stunt double, stood 3 inches shorter than Jackman, with different leg proportions. The custom seat positioned him awkwardly, unable to reach the foot pegs comfortably. His knees bent at wrong angles, and his weight distributed unevenly. During the first stunt sequence using Jackman's riding bike, Cochran complained of severe discomfort after just 20 minutes. The production faced a dilemma. They needed consistency. The bike Jackman rode had to match the bike Cochran rode during stunts. But a seat comfortable for one made the other miserable. Swapping seats between takes meant removing bodywork panels and delaying filming. The solution involved building a quick-release seat mounting system. Technicians could swap between Jackman's custom seat and Cochran's custom seat in under 3 minutes. Each seat matched perfectly in appearance, same color, same stitching pattern, same dimensions. Only the internal padding differed, shaped to each rider's specific anatomy. The system worked, but added complexity to an already complicated production. The props department maintained detailed logs tracking which seat was installed at any given time. Second unit director would request Jackman's seat config or Cochran's seat config, and crew members would make the swap. By X-Men: The Last Stand, they'd refine the process to 90 seconds flat.
Took a KTM, which is a dirt bike, and mocked it up to make it look like a Harley-Davidson.
Number 10. The insurance blacklist. After 3 motorcycle crashes during the first X-Men film, Insurance companies blacklisted Hugh Jackman from riding during action sequences for the remainder of the trilogy. The crashes weren't his fault. Two involved equipment failures, and one resulted from an unexpected oil slick on the road surface. But insurance actuaries don't care about fault. They calculate risk, and Jackman represented unacceptable liability. The first crash happened during week 2 of filming. Jackman was practicing a simple riding sequence at low speed when the front brake locked unexpectedly. He went down hard, suffering road rash and a sprained wrist. Production shut down for 4 days while he recovered. The second crash occurred during the Statue of Liberty sequence. A support vehicle leaked oil onto the road surface. Jackman hit the slick patch and lost traction, sliding into protective barriers. Minor injuries, but another insurance claim. The third crash was purely mechanical failure. The throttle stuck open during a parking lot scene. Jackman couldn't shut it off and dumped the bike to avoid hitting crew members. That incident triggered insurance review. Underwriters examined the pattern of 3 crashes in 6 weeks of filming. They issued an ultimatum. Jackman could ride only during stationary or slow-speed dialogue scenes. From X2 onward, anytime you see Wolverine riding aggressively, that's Mike Cochran or another stunt professional.
Frank's wife's hairdresser, and she would go.
Number 9, the Patrick Stewart motorcycle and Sphere. Patrick Stewart absolutely refused to ride motorcycles or even sit on them as a passenger, creating script problems when scenes required Professor Xavier interacting with Wolverine's bike. Stewart's fear stemmed from a childhood incident where he'd witnessed a fatal motorcycle accident in his hometown of Mirfield, England. The trauma left him with lifelong anxiety about motorcycles. During initial script readings for X-Men, Stewart noticed several scenes placing Professor Xavier near or on Wolverine's Harley. He immediately approached Bryan Singer requesting changes. Singer understood and respected Stewart's fear, but faced a problem. Some interactions were important for establishing the Xavier-Wolverine relationship dynamic. The compromise involved careful camera work and strategic body doubles. Any shot requiring someone in Xavier's wheelchair near the motorcycle used precise angles that prevented the bike from actually being close to Stewart. What looked like 3 feet of separation on screen was actually 15 feet in reality. For one scene requiring Xavier to touch the motorcycle, they constructed a stationary fiberglass mock-up. Stewart could approach and touch it, knowing the bike couldn't move or fall on him. His visible tension in that scene wasn't acting, it was genuine anxiety about proximity to anything motorcycle-shaped. The production team respected Stewart's boundary completely. Scripts were rewritten to minimize Bike-Xavier interactions. When unavoidable, they used every technical trick available to protect Stewart's psychological comfort while maintaining story needs. Stewart later thanked the crew for their sensitivity, noting that many productions would have pressured him to get over it for the shot. Number 8, the exhaust pipe burn epidemic. Harley-Davidson. Fat Boy exhaust pipes reach temperatures exceeding 300 degrees Fahrenheit during operation, hot enough to cause severe burns instantly. During X-Men trilogy filming, 17 crew members suffered exhaust burns requiring medical treatment. The pipes run along both sides of the bike, positioned exactly where crew members naturally place their hands when moving or positioning the motorcycle. During the first week of production, a lighting technician grabbed the bike to adjust its position 30 seconds after the engine shut off. The pipes were still scorching hot. He suffered second-degree burns across his palm, requiring emergency room treatment and skin grafts. Production immediately implemented safety protocols, bright orange warning tags attached to the bike whenever the engine had run recently, mandatory cooling periods before crew could touch the bike, and designated motorcycle handlers wearing protective gloves. Despite precautions, burns continued. The chaos of film production meant people forgot protocols under pressure. A camera operator backed into hot pipes during a tight setup. An assistant director steadied himself against the bike during a stumble. Each incident meant injury reports, potential OSHA violations, and production delays. The solution involved custom heat shields fabricated to cover the exhaust pipes during non-filming periods. The shields could be installed within seconds after the engine shut off, protecting anyone who might accidentally contact the pipes. The shields were painted bright yellow with "Caution Hot" stenciled in red letters. Number 7. The Harley-Davidson factory tour requirement. Hugh Jackman's contract for X2 included an unusual clause requiring him to visit Harley-Davidson's Milwaukee factory and spend 3 days learning motorcycle culture and history. This wasn't vanity, it was Harley-Davidson's requirement for continued product placement cooperation. After the first film's success, Harley executives wanted deeper brand integration. They believed Jackman needed to understand Harley culture to authentically represent it on screen. Simply riding the bike wasn't enough. He needed to embody the lifestyle. Jackman spent 3 days in Milwaukee touring the factory, meeting engineers, and interviewing longtime riders about what Harley ownership meant to them. He visited the company museum, studied motorcycle evolution, and attended a weekend rally to observe the community firsthand. The experience transformed Jackman's approach to the character. He'd previously viewed the motorcycle as a prop. After Milwaukee, he understood it as an extension of Wolverine's identity. The choice of a Harley specifically meant something about independence and American rebellious spirit. Jackman incorporated subtle changes into his performance. The way he touched the bike became more familiar, less mechanical. His riding position relaxed, showing comfort rather than concentration. Small details that Harley enthusiasts noticed and appreciated. Harley-Davidson used Jackman's visit extensively in their marketing, publishing photos and interviews about the actor's conversion to Harley culture. The company issued press releases emphasizing Jackman's genuine appreciation for their brand. Whether his enthusiasm was authentic or professional commitment remains debatable, but the performance convinced audiences and satisfied Harley's marketing objectives completely. Number 6. The digital speedometer controversy. The Fat Boy featured Harley-Davidson's traditional analog speedometer, but production wanted digital displays for certain shots to look more futuristic and X-Men appropriate. This created intense debate between Harley representatives and the production design team. Harley-Davidson had spent decades cultivating a retro aesthetic. Their motorcycles deliberately avoided modern digital displays in favor of classic analog gauges. This vintage approach was central to their brand identity. Production designer John Meyer argued that the X-Men universe featured advanced technology throughout. Professor Xavier's school had cutting-edge equipment. A purely analog speedometer looked anachronistic in that context. The compromise involved careful shot selection. Most speedometer shots showed the stock analog gauge, satisfying Harley's authenticity requirements. But for specific sequences emphasizing speed or technology, visual effects artists digitally replaced the analog gauge with a fictional digital display in post-production. The digital gauge appeared in approximately 6 shots across the trilogy, so briefly that casual viewers never noticed the switch. But Harley purists caught it immediately and complained vocally on forums and social media. Harley-Davidson issued no official comment on the controversy. Internally, marketing executives were furious that their product placement agreement had been violated. Legal teams reviewed contracts looking for remedies, but found the language ambiguous about post-production alterations. By X-Men, The Last Stand, the contract explicitly prohibited any digital alterations to Harley-Davidson instrumentation. All speedometer shots used the stock analog gauge exactly as designed, regardless of how it fit the film's aesthetic.
Scene with an actor, especially in a feature.
Number 5. The cross-country shipping nightmare. Moving 6 identical motorcycles between filming locations across North America created logistical nightmares and unexpected costs totaling over $80,000. The X-Men trilogy filmed in California, New York, and various Canadian locations. Each move required transporting all 6 bikes plus spare parts, tools, and specialized equipment. The production initially planned to ship bikes via standard freight services. They quickly discovered that shipping companies treated motorcycles as high-value cargo, requiring specialized handling and insurance. Quotes came back at $5,000 per bike per shipment. Multiply that by 6 bikes and multiple location changes and costs, spiraled beyond budget projections. Transportation coordinator Rita Ogden developed an alternative strategy. The production purchased a custom enclosed trailer capable of carrying all 6 bikes simultaneously. One driver could transport the entire fleet for fuel costs plus salary. The trailer was climate controlled to prevent temperature damage to the bikes and their modifications. This solution worked until crossing the Canadian border. Customs officials insisted on inspecting each motorcycle individually, verifying VIN numbers and confirming temporary importation paperwork. The process took 7 hours at the border, delaying production and costing thousands in crew overtime. Then came the real disaster. During transport from Vancouver to Los Angeles, the trailer's air suspension failed on a mountain highway. The resulting rough ride damaged 3 bikes, breaking custom parts and scratching paint. Repairs required 2 weeks and $32,000. The production added shock-absorbing mounts and redundant suspension systems to prevent recurrence. Total transportation costs across the trilogy exceeded initial estimates by 300%.
This release called the Tri-Glide, and they've totally revamped the chassis on the...
Though number 4, the replica market explosion. X-Men's success triggered an immediate market for Wolverine Harley replicas, with custom shops worldwide offering X-Men packages to modify Fat Boys into screen-accurate versions. Harley-Davidson initially tried to control this aftermarket, fearing unlicensed modifications would damage their brand. They issued cease and desist letters to shops advertising Wolverine Edition or X-Men Edition Fat Boys. Legal teams argued these shops were profiting from intellectual property they didn't own, both Marvel's X-Men trademark and Harley's product designs. The shops fought back, arguing they were simply customizing motorcycles customers already owned, no different from any other personalization work. Courts generally sided with the custom shops. Customers could modify their property however they wanted, and shops could advertise the results. Harley-Davidson changed tactics. Instead of fighting the replica market, they attempted to dominate it. The company released official Wolverine-inspired packages through authorized dealerships. These kits included specific paint colors, seat designs, and minor modifications matching the film bikes. The official packages cost between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on options selected. Unofficial custom shops undercut Harley's prices dramatically. They offered similar modifications for $1,500, using aftermarket parts instead of genuine Harley components. Quality varied wildly. Some shops produced beautiful replicas indistinguishable from the actual film bikes. Others created cheap knockoffs that looked terrible and performed worse. The replica market peaked in 2006, with over 2,000 documented Wolverine Fat Boy replicas registered in North America alone. That number doesn't include unregistered bikes or international replicas. The trend faded as the original trilogy aged, but revival interest followed Logan's release in 2017, triggering a second, smaller wave of replica builds.
To make it look like a Harley-Davidson.
Number 3. The weight distribution modification. The Fat Boy's stock weight distribution created problems for stunt work, forcing engineers to completely rebalance the motorcycle's center of gravity. Standard Fat Boys carry 61% of their weight over the front wheel, designed for stable highway cruising. But stunt riding requires different physics wheelies, stoppies, and tight maneuvering need weight bias toward the rear. Stunt coordinator Jeff Haberstad explained the problem to Harley-Davidson engineers during pre-production. He needed bikes capable of performing tricks that looked impressive on camera. The stock configuration made those tricks nearly impossible without extensive modifications. Harley's engineering team initially resisted, arguing that modifications would make the bikes handle poorly for normal riding. Haberstad countered that normal riding wasn't his concern. Spectacular stunts were the priority. If the compromise involved relocating the battery from its stock position under the seat to a custom housing over the rear axle, this shifted approximately 30 pounds rearward. They fabricated aluminum plates, replacing steel components in the front end, saving another 8 pounds forward. Custom wheels used hollow spokes instead of solid, but removing weight from the front wheel specifically. The collective modification shifted weight distribution from 61-39 front rear to 54-46, dramatically improving stunt capability. The rebalanced bikes could wheelie more easily, held stoppies longer, and pivoted faster in tight spaces. But they handled worse at highway speeds, feeling nervous and twitchy above 60 miles per hour. Since most filming occurred at low speeds in controlled environments, the trade-off was acceptable. Only the stunt bikes received these modifications. The hero and riding bikes stayed stock to maintain authentic Harley handling characteristics for close-up shots. Number 2. The soundstage ventilation crisis. Filming motorcycle scenes on enclosed sound stages created dangerous carbon monoxide accumulation that nearly killed 3 crew members during X2 production. The incident occurred during the mansion interior sequences requiring Wolverine to ride through hallways and rooms. Running a gasoline engine indoors produces carbon monoxide, an odorless, colorless poison that causes unconsciousness and death. Film productions typically use extensive ventilation when operating vehicles on stage. The X2 production followed standard protocols: industrial fans, exhaust ducting, and air quality monitors. But the mansion interior set was particularly complex, with multiple enclosed rooms and limited airflow paths. During a lengthy setup requiring the Harley to idle continuously, carbon monoxide accumulated in pockets the ventilation system couldn't reach. 3 crew members working in a basement set area below the main stage began experiencing symptoms: headaches, a dizziness, and nausea. 1 collapsed unconscious before anyone understood what was happening. Emergency response protocols activated immediately. The production evacuated the entire stage. Paramedics treated the affected crew members with oxygen. All 3 recovered fully, but the incident triggered investigations by OSHA and the studio's safety division. New protocols emerged requiring continuous carbon monoxide monitoring with automatic engine shutdown if levels exceeded safe thresholds. The system used multiple wireless sensors throughout the set, feeding data to a central safety station. If any sensor detected dangerous levels, it automatically cut power to the motorcycle's ignition, preventing further exhaust production. These enhanced safety measures added $12,000 per day to production costs, but prevented any recurrence.
And there becomes a chase.
Second unit were there for 8, 9, 10 weeks shooting this.
Number 1. The stolen bike that became urban legend. One of the 6 original X-Men, Fat Boys was stolen from a storage facility in 2004 and has never been recovered, spawning countless conspiracy theories and alleged sightings worldwide. The bike was the primary hero machine, the one featuring perfect paint and all cosmetic details for close-up shots. After X-Men, The Last Stand wrapped, all 6 bikes were supposed to be transported to a climate-controlled storage facility Fox maintained for valuable props. 5 bikes arrived. The hero bike vanished somewhere between the production lot and storage. Initial investigation suggested inside job, someone with facility access and knowledge of which bike was most valuable. Security footage showed nothing useful. The bike simply disappeared. Fox filed insurance claims and police reports, but the investigation stalled within weeks. Over the following years, the stolen bike achieved legendary status. Alleged sightings came from Australia, Japan, Germany, and throughout the United States. Someone claimed to have seen it at a motorcycle rally in Sturgis. Another swore it was displayed in a private Tokyo collection. None of the sightings were verified. The bike's VIN number was flagged in law enforcement databases worldwide. If anyone tried registering it legally, authorities would be notified immediately. This meant the thief either knew how to forge new VIN plates or was keeping the bike hidden from official systems. In 2015, a Wolverine Fat Boy appeared at a European auction house. Experts examined it thoroughly and determined it was an extremely good replica, not the original. The authentication process revealed how many replica builders had created nearly perfect copies over the years. The real hero bike could be hiding among hundreds of convincing fakes. Insurance companies valued the stolen bike at $350,000 based on its documented film use and historical significance. That value has likely appreciated to over $800,000 today. Somewhere, someone owns the most famous Fat Boy in cinema history and isn't talking. Harley-Davidson Fat Boy wasn't just a motorcycle. It was a character-defining statement that transformed Hugh Jackman's portrayal, revitalized Harley-Davidson's sales, and created an enduring icon of mutant rebellion. From stolen bikes to near-fatal accidents, the truth behind those chrome pipes proves that sometimes the most memorable rides have the wildest stories.